Now, I would like to welcome to the stage our next speaker from Fibenol, Katrin Yogi.
Yes. Hello. So I'm Katrin, representing Fibenol today, telling a little what we are doing in Fibenol, how things are going so far. If any of you have difficulties remembering Fibenol, so it's just a short form of fiber beyond oil, which is our slogan. So, and we'll tell you a little bit about our slogan also a little later. So, we have a biorefinery in central Estonia. It's actually quite interesting to say we have a biorefinery because we are so used to saying that we are building a biorefinery. So it's built, it's there. So we have a biorefinery in central Estonia where we fractionate wood residues, the leftovers from forestry, wood processing industry, sawdust, wood chips, wood flakes, and so on, into the original components of wood, meaning lignin, cellulosic sugars, and microcrystalline cellulose. We do it in a very efficient way, meaning that we use only renewable energy and we can turn up to 90% of the biomass into valuable chemicals. Also, what is really important when it comes to wood-based industries, usually these companies produce or use a lot of water. This is not the case for us because we have a really efficient wastewater treatment system, meaning that we can use up to 95% of the processed water again. Right now we are in the phase of hot commissioning. This picture is taken a month ago, so you can see the snow there. It's melted away already, but we are in the phase of getting everything working. Sometimes, of course, it's not all fun and games all the time. Sometimes it may even feel as difficult as launching rockets. But you know, if you look at these fresh batches of lignin, it's all worth it. Where we are today, so we have come a long way. We started with scouting the technology in 2016. We found sunburst technology, which works for us really well. Continuing with the Sweetwoods project in 2018, so we had our pilot line already in 2020, and now we are in the phase of commissioning, which means that hopefully within the next month, we will be reaching our full production capacity, which would be processing around 30,000 tons of dry wood annually, meaning that the production capacities of our main products, meaning sugars, lignin, and cellulose, would be around 20 kilotons of sugars and 6.5 kilotons of lignin. We have trademarked it as Lignova, but it's our lignin. And if you're interested in microcrystalline cellulose, we can already produce it on ton scale on demand, but we can talk about that later. We have already more than 400 global partnerships, and hopefully after this event, even more. If you're still not convinced that you could use our materials, so I will tell you a little more about our products. So 3 main products that we have. Cellulosic sugars. When it comes to conventional sugars, we are not, as we are using wood as raw material, we are not competing with agricultural feedstock, so we are not food and feed competing. We have 2 streams of sugars, C5 reaching xylose, C6 reaching glucose. Both our sugars are highly fermentable, could be used in very many different applications. And of course, it's all produced in a very sustainable way, meaning that our products have really low environmental impacts, meaning also CO2 footprint and land use, for example, which are one of the, or a few of the most considered environmental impact categories. Our lignin, we have it also in 2 different grades. Both of them are really high quality, but we categorize them as crude and pure. Could be used also in very many different applications. Having a near native structure, and it's compared to conventional kraft lignin, it's sulfur-free, meaning that our lignin doesn't have a strong specific smell. I have a sample with me. A few of you already smelled it, and I think one of the nicest comments has been that it smells like IKEA. So it smells like wood. You can smell it after if you want to. Our microcrystalline cellulose, we have it also in different grades, in crude, blonde, and white. The grades depend on the residual content of lignin and hemicellulose. This also gives the specific color, the different grades. But as you know, the industry is really adjusted to having really white materials, so we also need to be flexible in that sense. So we bleach our material to get it, ready for different markets. Yesterday there was a really interesting presentation about nanocellulose. So we say that our microscale material actually has a nanoscale properties. So it's quite similar to the nanocellulose that was discussed yesterday. And as you can assume, there's many different applications on the table. Our sugars could be used as a substrate for biosurfactants production. All our products could be used in concrete production. Our lignin could replace phenols in adhesives production in the furniture industry. Our lignin is a great additive in bioplastics, for example. We are actually at the moment also putting together a safety evaluation dossier for EFSA to get it approved for also food contact plastics, just heads up. Also, as mentioned before, the microcrystalline cellulose is a great additive for paper making as a coating or a strengthening additive, for example. And I don't know if you know, but lignin could replace bitumen in asphalt making. So this is also a really great application. So, and as you know, lignin has a really high biogenic carbon content. So, for example, with replacing bitumen with lignin, it's possible to produce carbon neutral or actually negative, roads with negative footprint, for example. And we are actually collaborating on local level with Estonian road constructors to develop a standard, at least on local level, to produce and generate sustainable roads. And this could be, not only applied in Estonia, but all around the world, for example. And this is also something that we like to say, that leading with example. So the roads surrounding our factory also already contain some lignin. So Estonia is not an easy place for road construction because we have really high temperature fluctuations. So far it's looking good, and if it degrades, it biodegrades, right? When it comes to bioplastics, we are also collaborating at a local level to produce bio-waste collection bags. I have a few examples with me here also. A nice way to integrate local biomaterials into a really holistic way of approaching bioeconomy. I can see that I don't have too much time left, so I'm going to hurry up a little bit. I mentioned a few times that our products have a really low footprint, so how low it actually is. You can see here that our lignin, the carbon footprint is around minus 2,000 kilograms of CO2 per ton. So there's no need to compare it with conventional fossil-based chemicals because we are in a completely different league. And I mean, if we heard presentations yesterday about green premium, we are that. And there has been a lot of discussions about a life cycle assessment and so on. So when it comes to bio-based products, bio-based industries, you know the same as I do, that product carbon footprint is one of the most strongest selling arguments of our products. So it's kind of crazy how the market operates at the moment because there are no unified tools and rules on how life cycle assessments are done. And we have been facing that ourselves when it comes to, for example, if we look at the methodologies, for example, the allocation methods, the product carbon footprint of our products, depending, for example, the allocation method also could fluctuate between minus 2,000 to plus 300. So that's a big difference. And I think collectively, the bio industry, we need to step out and make it, to force somehow to put together some standards to leverage this area. And another way to step up with life cycle assessments, we need high quality primary data and transparency. I recently attended a conference where this company was presenting their product carbon footprint, and while they were presenting, they said that, yeah, we excluded the transportation of the raw materials because it would have made our impact too big. Like, what? So I know that for me it sounds crazy, but at least they were transparent about the fact that they excluded something, but for me it doesn't make any sense. So we need to, step up also in that sense. Let's use primary data. Let's transfer. Let's not use only the database averages. Let's not be afraid. And let's be transparent. Let's share this information also with our partners. And we are, of course, I only talked about carbon footprint myself here, but this is not something that we should be focusing on only. I think bio-based products have a lot of impact in positive ways in other categories also. So considering the eutrophication potential, water use, land use, and so on. So we have to have a holistic view also on other impact categories. So let's make a change here. And when it comes to the future, bright future, hopefully we are already looking for sites for our industrial plant, which would be 10 times bigger than our demo plant right now. So hopefully in 5 years, we can replace this photo with actual photo of our industrial plant. But when it comes to current day, we don't have to wait that long to sell our technology and license it out and the know-how that we have. So if you're interested in our technology, come talk to us. We can see what we can do. Because our bright ambition would be that, don't get confused by the map here. It's Europe, but it would have a lot of potential in the whole world. That the whole world would be covered with the factories using our technology. It could be adjusted to different tree species, to different areas, to different needs. So hopefully there would be a lot of different factories valorizing the maximum potential of woody biomass. And I know that, it's talking in this room, it's like preaching to the already converted, because I don't have to convince you, and there was a slide before about revolution. I know that you agree with me, I know that you are already on board, but we need to make it happen. Thanks.